Quick, graph y equals the sign of the quantity x plus pi over 4 by hand 2 different ways. This is part of the family of functions series. You will need paper and straight edge. We suggest you create grids similar to the ones at the right as needed, and press pause as needed anytime during the video. The first way is with the sine dance. Recall the graph of one period or wave of the sine function. Note the 5 key points of interest. These key points are affected by the parameters in the equation, as all points are. There's one parameter plus pi over 4 inside the parentheses, and it shifts each point horizontally to the left pi over 4 units. The y-coordinates are not affected. So the initial point, 0, 0, is shifted to the left to negative pi over 4, comma 0. And we'll go ahead and plot that, but we need to change the units along the x-axis first. So we're going to mark off every pi over 4, as we did here. Pause is needed. So we're going to go ahead and plot negative pi over 4, comma 0. The end of the first period is normally at 2 pi 0, but we're shifting everything to the left pi over 4, so it's going to be at 7 pi over 4, comma 0, right there, which is also one period away from the initial point, which is 2 pi away. Halfway between the initial point and the end of the period is another point of inflection, and it's normally at pi 0, but for us it's going to be at 3 pi over 4, comma 0. Everything again is shifted to the left, pi over 4. Halfway between the first 2 points of inflection is a max, so halfway between these 2 points is a maximum, and that will be at pi over 4, comma 1. And halfway between the second and third points of inflection is a minimum, and in this case that will be at 5 pi over 4, comma, negative 1. Pause is needed. Connect the points as a sine wave, concave down and then concave up. This is one period of the sine wave. Let's duplicate the wave in the negative direction. So we'll start at this point of inflection and go back a period, which is 2 pi, back from a maximum 2 pi, from the second point of inflection, and from the minimum back a period 2 pi. Connect the points as another sine wave. Frown, then smile. And comparing this to the parent function, y equals the sine of x. Each point is shifted to the left pi over 4 from the blue graph to the green graph. Every single point. We say that the green curve has a phase shift of pi over 4 to the left. That's the phrase we're going to be using. Phase shift of pi over 4 to the left. Pause is needed. The second way is with a table. These are our axes values. Go ahead and complete the table. Pause to do so. Those are the values. We need to create a second table for the green equation. We're going to need to subtract pi over 4 from each of the x coordinates. And that's the only thing we're doing. The y coordinates are not affected at all. So 0 minus pi over 4 is negative pi over 4. Again, the y coordinates remain the same at 0. Pi over 2, looks like we need to change the units along the axis again. So we need to mark off every pi over 4 along the x-axis. Pause is needed. So now we can plot negative pi over 4 is 0. Subtracting pi over 4 from pi over 2 getting a common denominator, that would be 2/4 minus 1/4 is 1/4. So 1/4 pi over 4, comma 1. The y coordinates remain the same. And plot that. Pi minus pi over 4, 4/4 minus 1/4 would be 3/4 pi, comma 0. Plot that. 3 pi over 2 minus pi over 4. Again, that would be 6 pi over 4 minus 1/4 pi is 5/4 pi, comma -1. So we'll plot that. And finally, 2 pi minus pi over 4 is 8/4 minus 1/4, or 7/4 pi, comma 0. We'll connect the points as a sine wave, concave down and then concave up. We're going to plot another period to the left, going back 2 pi from each of the 5 key points, and connect as another sine wave. Again, it's a phase shift to the left, pi over 4 from the parent function, the blue parent function. Now you try one. Graph y equals a sine of the quantity x plus pi over 3. Use either method or both for the practice. Pause as needed and resume when you're finished. And here you can see that the green curve has a phase shift to the left of pi over 3 units. Notice our units along the x-axis here.